So, just on one of my little walks, just got off from work, and I've been thinking all day about people having kids. This channel is pretty obviously centered around issues, familial issues, and so that subject comes to mind very often for me. Why do people have kids? Earlier today, before I got ready to go to work, I was on Reddit, and they have this little page on Reddit called glow ups. Basically, you post a picture, a before and after picture, and you show, hey, I lost 50 pounds. Hey, I quit drinking and I look better. Hey, I dress better, and whatever it was, whatever people considered to be an improvement of their aesthetic, they post the before and after. And sometimes I'll look at it. And today was one of those times, and I'm looking at this thing, and this woman posted her glow up. And in the first picture, she was very much overweight. And what she said was, hey, I lost 185 pounds, which, congrats, that's got to be hard to do. And then she said something that stuck with me. She goes, oh yeah, and I was told that I would always have fertility issues, but I proved them wrong. I have a little baby girl, little kid, looked like she was 1, 2, something around that age. I have a little girl now, and what did she say? And now I'm her whole world, right? Now, if you know anything about this channel, and you know anything about how I think, and how, I'm kind of like a narcissistic language decoder ring, right? So that messed with me, that stuck with me, that fucked with me. And I'm reading this, and my first thought was, well, your child should be your whole world. You shouldn't say that her whole world, because you elected to bring her here, and I don't believe you asked her permission. So the devotee here should be you. Okay, to say someone is your whole world means you're devoted. You are not owed devotion from that child. That child is a being that you initiated. Okay, you instigated the process of them coming to this realm. Why should she be devoted to you? Now, could this have been an innocent, innocuous statement? Absolutely. Right? It could have been the most innocent statement in the world. Maybe she just wrote it, didn't read it, didn't think about how it could come across. I allow for that. But then I also got to look at things, like the weight gain and all that other stuff. Because if you lost 185, okay, and you currently look like you about 160, 170, that means you were nearly almost 400 fucking pounds. Okay, so that means we've got mental illness going on. We've got issues with self-esteem. We've got issues with control. We probably had, some sort of inappropriate touching. A lot of times when people get big like that, particularly women, but I'm sure it happens to men too. When people get real big like that, it's so that they can feel big and protected, and also so that people will not find them as attractive, because that's where the danger came from. So I'm reading the statement about how now she's her whole world, and I'm looking at the fact that she dropped all this weight, and I'm thinking, I hope this person is healed enough to really be a good mother to this child. I hope this person has developed a new relationship with food. I hope this person will not perpetuate or continue the cycle with her daughter by feeding her the way she once fed herself. But really, what I really hope is that she realizes that her daughter should be her whole world. And that's what I don't really even understand, why people even really choose to have kids. Excuse me. Like, I don't understand. Like, it's statements like that that make the whole thing sound selfish. I know that there is probably some sort of natural instinct that makes people want to do it. I have not experienced that. But, human beings have been around long enough for me to assume that's their natural instinct, especially a nesting instinct. Many women, someday hope to be mothers, hope to conceive a child and, keep that process of life going. And that's cool, but my question is always why? And they always give you like the dumbest answers. Like, people are like, you have a child so you can have, it makes you a good person, it makes you a more solid person, and you learn and you grow a lot about, learn a lot about yourself and all this. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, but Buddhism and yoga and therapy can also help you with that shit. Maybe I've been reading too much Schopenhauer about life and how it's fucking terrible or whatever. But you instigated this person's life. This person is going to feel happiness, joy, hunger, pain, fear, weakness, strength. They're going to experience all these things through their life. You have initiated that, and you initiated that because, quote unquote, it's going to make you a better person. It's going to make you a better person. See how it always comes back to the self. That's why I wouldn't call myself an anti-natalist, aka a person who doesn't believe that people should be having kids anymore. I would never call myself that, because I know I'm one person with one perspective. I know I can be quite myopic and stuck in my ways. So I wouldn't say that I would be for that movement. But I do think that the vast majority of people shouldn't have kids because they give you stupid fucking answers like that. Or they give you the, it'll help you settle down, and it'll allow you to still have a passion for life because, and this actually might be a decent answer. One lady told me, she's like, Christmas, you can become so jaded with Christmas and all the other holidays because you're no longer a child. But when you witness Christmas through the eyes of a child, right, then you can still feel that feeling you felt when you were a little boy or a little girl, right? So that was an answer, but I was like, that's selfish too. I'm going to have you're going to be on this planet with war and famine and disease and crooked politicians and all the bullshit they put in our food to fuck with us and slowly erode our abilities and all this shit. You're going to bring somebody onto the planet so that you can feel the magic of Christmas again. This corporate bullshit that was once a pagan holiday. Okay? This corporate Santa Claus, Coca-Cola, polar bear sliding down the ice, drinking this Coca-Cola, a marketing day, a day that puts every company in the black. You're going to instigate a life so you can feel the joy of corporate fucking bullshit, and you can buy your kids some shit they're going to play with for 2 weeks and then throw out. You see how it always comes back to the self? This is why studying narcissism is so important, and studying people's motivations is so important, and seeing how deeply selfish people are. People are deeply fucking selfish. I know I'm selfish as fuck. I am selfish as fuck. It's not my best trait. And it does keep you stuck in suspended animation. Okay? But the beauty of me being a selfish asshole is I can kind of be that with little fallout for other people. All the fallout will fall on me, as it should, because I live alone. And I don't have fucking kids. And I don't want kids. Okay? You know, but for those of you out there, or, you know, the people out there, you know, the breeders as it is, or as it were, you know, you claim to be these selfless beings, but you, once again, you're creating a life so that you can get something out of it. There's really no benefit to the kid except you get to open your eyes and look at shit and experience things and, you know, have a life. But you were just somewhere up in the ether chilling. Maybe up there was better. How do we know? It's stuff like that, you know. I know I'm waxing philosophical, but, you know, now I'm her whole world. I'm like, this is a person who needs to stay in therapy, or else that little girl doesn't stand a chance. Because you got to figure, you know, to get to the narcissism component of it, and all the fallout that could happen as a result of it, what you got to figure is, let's say you really do feel like you're that child's whole world, which, you know, I don't know, it's just a stupid thing. I don't want to get lost in tangents, but she's going to grow up and construct her own world and have different thoughts and feelings and opinions. And what happens then? Because now you've been usurped. You're no longer her whole world. She's going to grow up. She's going to go to school. She's going to have crushes. She's going to have friends. She's going to have boyfriends. She's going to have situations that require her attention, and that attention will not be on you. What happens then? What happens then? I suspect if this woman is narcissistic, and I have a feeling she is, okay? I have a feeling she is. What's going to happen is what happened to all of us scapegoats. We were cute little kids who were easy and malleable and easy to control and easily impressed. And then slowly but surely, as our bodies grew and our brains grew, right? And we began asking questions, we became a problem. It was all good when we were quiet, but when we were asking questions, that's when it became an issue. That's when it became, you're a disrespectful person. That's when it became, oh, let me triangulate you against your brother. And that's when it became, oh, smear campaign. Why? Because we burst their fucking bubble, and we were no longer people who viewed them as our whole world, which we never should have done. Again, the devotee is the person who has the most responsibility. Why should the child have that fucking responsibility? I don't know. I don't know what you guys' thoughts are on this, but I really think more people need to think about this. Ask yourself why you want a kid. And if every sentence, like when you think of the answer and every sentence in your head starts with I, maybe it's a fucked up thing you're doing. Okay? Maybe we have enough humans here. Maybe we need fewer humans so we could have a better quality of life. How come nobody's ever fucking thought of that? You know? Anyway.